Hello guys and welcome back to another episode of our EAFC 25 career mode here with Southampton. We are back with another episode today with more big games coming in the Premier League and the Champions League. We suffered our first defeat of the season to Manchester United in the previous episode, but bounced back with a victory at the Etihad against 10-man Manchester City to put us in a good position in the Premier League. We got big games coming in the Champions League today, which is where we're going to start travelling to Madrid to take on Atletico at the Metropolitano. These are the sorts of games that we wanted to get back in the Champions League for, testing ourselves against Europe's elite. One win and a draw to kick off the league phase so far, and I'd love to get back to winning ways with a win here against Simeone's side. Come on, you Saints. A tough game this in Madrid, but Madrid are one of those sides in career mode that I do always seem to get the better of. I think it's because when the AI take over the club, they're always playing in this three-back system. And the AI always build the team really attacking, because the left and right midfielders, I've spoken about it before, the left and right mids are generally like attacking players. So if you can get their back three with your front three or front four, then there always seems to be space. So yeah, it's a very strong side that Atletico have, but we know that we're very, very strong defensively. So if we can get at that back three, I do think we will create chances. Eduardo, that's all you, son. There is Cam. Round the corner for Chaibi, who gets away and has to finish and just calmly rolls it in. And he has been waiting a long time for that one, Chaibi. Celebrates with his teammates. Signed over a year ago last summer, but an injury hit season last campaign. Got a few assists to his name, but hadn't scored until now. And Chaibi finally gets his first goal for the Saints. Oh, that's lucky. Burgess gets it through to Jeremy Frimpong. And there's the reverse side of that attacking lineup from Atleti. Julian Alvarez still at Atleti in the save. And it's Frimpong, one of the fullbacks down the right-hand side, who pegs it back to the Argentine. And he slams it in at the near post to draw Atletico Madrid level. First time they've really been forward, man. Yeah, I mean, away from home against Atletico Madrid, a point is not a terrible result, like against Milan in the previous episode. And I said it when the fixtures were drawn, we got a much tougher list of fixtures this year around compared to last year's. That's a brilliant tackle by Bremer. Yeah, really difficult set of fixtures compared to last year, where I fancied us in most of our games. But this year, a lot tougher, and that is being proved here. As Solé on the left foot, looking for, I think, potentially what would have been his first goal for this for the club. He must have got one at some point, man. That'll drop for St. Maximan. Lots of pressure on. Oh, it is Solé on the Atletico Madrid goal. And it's the two centre-backs who link up. And I just mentioned Solé. I'm not sure if he's ever scored for the club before. He's been here since, I think, season 2. And I'm not sure if he's ever scored. I'm not very good at corners on this year's game. Van Dijk keeps it alive though, and Solé gets there before Oblak. Our lead is restored, and it's Omar Solé assisted by Van Dijk. The two centre-backs linking up. 20 on the clock. Atleti looking to get back into this. Gillette wins the header, but it's not cleared. Van Dijk uses his frame to get a block in, but Grimaldo has it on the edge. Atletico being very patient here as they look for an opening. And they got lots of bodies forward. Burgess, Bernardo into Grimaldo. That's a nice ball into Julian Alvarez. Lovely bit of interlinking play from Atletico Madrid. And it's that man again, Julian Alvarez, the Argentine, levelling the game up. This has been a cracker to start off today's episode. Yeah, what a move that was by Atleti, keeping the ball on the edge of our box, and then the penetrating pass and run as St. Maximan looks to catch out Oblak. Yeah, Julian Alvarez with two well taken goals. Corner swung in. Zambon gets up and heads over the top. Not long to play. It's been an absolute cracker in the Spanish capital. Are we going to find a winner, or are we going to have to settle for a point once again in the Champions League? Well, there's our answer. It is going to be another draw for the Saints. Again, not a terrible result away against one of Europe's best, but that is now just one win in our opening 3 in the Champions League. I said it last episode though, we have got easier fixtures to come later on. And that will include our trip to Salzburg as we take on RB Salzburg later on in the episode, where we'll be targeting all 3 points. Disappointing not to win after leading twice, but not a terrible result in the Spanish capital. Well, as we get back to the menus, you'll see our next game in just 3 days' time in the Premier League. It's so tight and congested at the top. And with the fixtures coming thick and fast as we head into the busy sort of December period, we did discuss in the previous episode about recalling Connor Cox from his loan in France. I'd like to keep him out there to continue growing, but he's going to get game time here, so I think I'm going to do it. I'm going to recall Connor Cox. He is back at Southampton for the first time since season 1, when he came out of the academy as a 16-year-old. He has grown into a real class centre forward, and he's going to be thrown straight into the matchday squad, not from the off, but at home at St Mary's. So he's travelled back from France and joined up with the team and trained before our game. Connor Cox on the bench as he returns to his parent club, and I'm really looking forward to having him back in the side. He's on the bench and he may well make an impact as we take on a struggling Newcastle side as they sit just above the relegation zone to kick off the new campaign. Looking for another 3 points to keep ourselves top. Come on, you Saints. Yeah, Newcastle are a really strange team in this save because they always seem to be scrapping down towards the bottom of the table, but whenever we face them, we always have a really tough game against them. They quite often take points off us as well, so I'm expecting another really difficult game here. But of course, we've signed probably their 2 best players in this man, Anthony Gordon, and Eduardo Camavinga, so maybe that is part of the reason why they are struggling so much to kick off this new season. The Frenchman at the heart of everything for us, and Newcastle really missing that as Yusuf fires the shot in, which Chevalier shovels behind for the corner. Isak into Yildiz, back to Alexander Isak. Isak has it again, steps away from Solé, ball through, flag stays down, Newcastle take the lead. And it's Kenan Yildiz, who Newcastle tried to offload to us this summer. I think it was Livramento they tried to sign and offer us the swap deal. Isak does well. He times the pass perfectly. And again, we find ourselves a goal down at St Mary's, and with work to do in the final half an hour. And I'm making the change as well. Connor Cox is on, and he's got a great opportunity to make himself a hero. Lots of work to do in this final half an hour in a game where we've not been good enough going forward. And it's a similar story for Southampton, missing the main man, Marcus Leonardo. Oh, Yildiz steps away. Oh, we've not cleared, and that's a pen. That's so poor from me. And as with the game against Manchester United, I have completely blown this. Isak scores, and what did I say as we were heading into this one? Newcastle United, man, they just always find a way to beat us or get a result. I just can't do anything against certain teams. These boys and United, they just always beat us. Angel Gomez, it might fall for Connor Cox. And that was his chance for a goal on his second debut for the club. Elliot Cole will swing the ball in. Camavinga attacks it and heads it just wide. Not even a consolation as we taste defeat for the second time in the Premier League this season. I think we're going to be in for a really closely run title race once again. And, I mean, if we can't do it this season, are we ever going to do it? I think this is our best chance. We seem to be faltering. 2 losses already in our opening, I think, 9 games in the Premier League. And against a struggling Newcastle side, that's a poor result, man. They just always seem to find a way to beat me. Well, we've just got to get straight back to it. But before we head into our next game, we see Patrick Marshall heading out on loan to Sturm Graz, a side that we faced in the Champions League this year. That will be going through in January. Love the haircut on that young Scotsman. But in the Premier League, it's Fulham who go to the top of the table. 7 wins in their opening 9 games. Liverpool inflict Spurs' first defeat of the season. And it is getting very, very tight and congested at the top, as we expected. Brentford away at the G-Tech. Another side that is struggling down towards the relegation zone this season. But unlike Newcastle, we have to make sure we get all 3 points on the board here, man. We are really missing Marcus Leonardo. Yeah, you know, we've spoken about form a lot throughout the course of this save, and it's such a big thing in career mode nowadays. And when you hit that poor run of form, you've just got to try and get yourselves out of that slump as quickly as you can, as Camavinga gets his 3rd goal of the season. And you can count on a world-class midfielder like him to turn up when it matters. A couple of poor results for us to kick off the season. We're still doing pretty well at the top of the Premier League. And, yeah, undefeated in the Champions League. But we've not been quite as good as I would have been hoping for. Need to return to winning ways here and go on a run. And Camavinga with the perfect start. Well, we may be leading at the break, but still not particularly impressed with that first half performance. And Cameron Archer up top as well. It's just not been a great run of fixtures for him. He did well against Manchester City, and he has racked up a lot of assists in the Premier League, but he just doesn't have that natural goal scoring kind of feel that you get from Marcus Leonardo whenever he's in the team. And we are missing our Brazilian number 9. Corner for the Saints. Camavinga to take. Dangerous ball in. Yusuf gets up. And that is a brilliant header. It just had a little bit too much. I love that reaction on the sidelines. Tino. Lovely ball into Kudus. Oh, that's a brilliant move. And Cameron Archer for 2. He does get his goal. And that's more like it from the Saints. That was a beautiful passing move. The ball into Kudus was brilliant, and the assist from the Ghanaian was superb as well. Cameron Archer back on the score sheet for the Saints just when we needed him most. Well, that's going to do it here at the G-Tech. Back to winning ways for Southampton. A clean sheet as well. And Cameron Archer back on the score sheet. Wasn't the greatest performance, but a good bounce back to get us back to winning ways. And a much needed result in the capital. Well, jumping into our next game as we see Vinny Jr. winning the Ballon d'Or. Well, I guess Real Madrid turned up to this ceremony. I have to say, the whole kind of thing with them not turning up is a little bit ridiculous. In my opinion, it seems a bit childish just because they thought he should have won it and then they kind of boycotted the ceremony. It's a little bit ridiculous if you ask me, but anyway, everyone will have their own opinion on that. And our next game is the Salzburg clash that I mentioned earlier, and these are the sort of games that you have to win if you want to finish in the top 8. Currently in 13th place, which would have us through to the sort of preliminary round, but we want to finish in those top 8 spots, so a win here is a must. Away, travelling to Austria. Come on, you Saints. Yeah, I have to say, I love in this game we've got 3 academy grads in the lineup on Champions League night. That is so cool. It's taken a while to get here, but finally we have a couple of those youth academy players in and around the first team. Oh, that would have been a brilliant assist. Yeah, it's good to see them in and around the team, and I'd love to get one of them on the score sheet here today, especially Connor Cox after returning from his loan. Well, still deadlocked at 0-0 at the break. We've had the better of the game, and the youngsters, the academy grads, have looked lively without having that quality in the final third to put the ball in the back of the net. I do think if we keep pushing and keep probing, we will get a chance, and I'm just hoping that we're able to take it when it does come. As Martson gets away down the left. Brilliant from Ian Martson. Connor Cox on the left foot, denied, and Cole won't quite get there to squeeze it home. Much better though from the Saints, and we are looking the most likely at the moment. Yeah, still looking for that breakthrough, and a point here is not a very good result. As I see Cox on the move, and Connor, has he got the finish? No, it's another big save, and we just cannot force that ball in. Stein out wide to Gillette, and Elliot Cole is the option on the right. Now Gillette again, space to drive into for Gillette, squares it across for Connor Cox, and boy does he deserve that. Connor Cox, the academy graduate, came out of the youth system at 16 years of age, made a few first team appearances, but has spent 4 years on loan. Finally given his chance due to the injury to Marcus Leonardo, and that will mean the world to the youngster. Still only 20, world at his feet. Double C, Connor Cox opens the scoring in Austria. Stein, ball forward to Kai Vaughan. And Cox is on the move again, and the flag stays down, and Connor Cox for a second. 2 in 2 minutes for Connor Cox. Oh my goodness, what a fairy tale story for the youngster. We know Southampton have a rich history of producing talent, and Connor Cox looks like the next man. Races away and smashes it in his terrible little EA boots. I need to get them changed. But Connor Cox single-handedly taking us to victory in the Champions League in a game that looked like it might get away from us. The youngster steps up when he's needed most. Well, that win, thanks to Connor Cox, has put us in a much better position in the Champions League. Couldn't really afford to be dropping points away in Austria there, and our attention turns back to the Premier League as we take on last year's champions Chelsea. Of course, lost a few key players in the summer. Cole Palmer went to Juventus, Fede Valverde left to Milan, and it's been a tough start to the season for Maresca's side. Already 10 points off top spot, and a lot of ground to make up early on in the campaign. And for the Saints, it's not been our greatest start to the season. 2 defeats on the board already, and 6 goals conceded is quite a lot for a side that have not conceded many over the last 3 or 4 campaigns in the Premier League. So a really big game here. Chelsea desperate to get back into the title race. Southampton looking to move back to top spot. Come on, you Saints. Yeah, we've had some big clashes with Chelsea over the years, and wouldn't be surprised to have another one here. Oh, that's a great ball. Stein just couldn't get the shot away. Cameron Archer leads the line today. I'm trusting him in the Premier League despite Connor Cox's brace in midweek. But yeah, so good to see that we've got some competition up front. Williams into Jackson, back to Nico Williams. They've still got such a threat, Chelsea, despite losing a few key players and starting the season off poorly. And Muric has to make the save, and I thought he was just going to grab the second ball, and he seemed to lose his bearings a little bit. Stein, look at the space for Anthony Gordon down the left. Can he get away from Javi Guerra? Yes, he can. And away from Vivian as well. And dinks the ball in for Kudus at the back post. And right before the break, one final attack for the Saints. It's been a little bit scrappy. There's been a few little half chances and moments. But thus far, the side's still deadlocked at 0-0 as we head into the break. Yusuf into Stein early in this second half. Camavinga has a bit of space. We know he can hit them, and Philip Jorgensen does really well to get gloves on it. Tino into Stein. Back to Livramento. Nice football as the former Chelsea Academy grad finds Stein. Skips away from his man, and Camavinga lifts it for Anthony Gordon. Takes it on the chest and dinks it, and Colwill gets back to make the clearance. That was brilliant by Anthony Gordon, but not fooled Levi Colwill. as we look to poke it through. You can tell when I'm concentrating, man. My commentary just goes completely out the window. Williams, again, picking up the ball in dangerous positions. Finds Nicholas Jackson. Oh, Solé doesn't get there. Big save. Still not cleared, and Tino gets a foot in. What a save by Muric. I thought Solé was going to get there on the slide, and he just seemed to miss the ball. And now we come the other way. Camavinga through the gap to Anthony Gordon on the left peg. Oh, it's off the woodwork from one end to the other. And I tell you what, for a 0-0, this has been an absolute cracking game on the South Coast. Tino wins the header, 5 on the clock. Is there time for one last chance? That's a great ball into Camavinga. Looks to slide in Gordon, and we will have a free kick right on the edge. Unfortunately, no JWP on the bench. Otherwise, I'd be bringing him on for this one. But a really dangerous position for Gordon or Sem Stein, who have both come close with free kicks this season. Yeah, Gordon's got the stats, so I'm going to trust him. Anthony Gordon looking to go up and over. It's brilliant. It's another free kick goal in the save. We know they're a bit of a rarity, but Anthony Gordon, who went close against Brighton, gets it up and over and looks to have won it for Southampton. Chelsea couldn't afford to lose today with already a lot of ground to make up, and Anthony Gordon, the wall don't jump. He gets it up and over, and the keeper, Philip Jorgensen, can't get there. Gordon with the walk-off winner as the Saints pick up a huge 3 points at St Mary's. Yeah, what a crazy winner right at the death against Chelsea. A result which leaves them in 12th place. But as for the Saints, still behind Arsenal and Fulham. We'll have a few more games to close out today. Firstly, we travel to Molineux to take on Wolves. Gary O'Neill's side currently sat in the bottom 3. And then we'll close out the video with a trip to Slavia Prague in the Champions League as we look to climb our way into the top 8 of the league phase. But focus here on the Premier League, travelling to Molineux and looking to keep pace with the top 2. Come on, you Saints. Oh, well, straight from kickoff. I don't believe this. Chaibi's just gone down once again. Suffered with so many injury problems last year. And he has got back to his feet, thankfully. But like Marcus Leonardo, that could be a 3-month blow. I'm hoping it's not too serious, but it looked like more than just a bruise. And he's just been clattered again. He is just always in the wars, this lad. Tino round the back. Oh, that might work out. Camavinga. Oh, my goodness. That was such a strange free kick routine. And it's so almost created an opportunity. Well, it did create an opportunity for Camavinga. It nearly created the first goal of the game. Well, it's not exactly been an onslaught in this opening 30 minutes, but we have been on top. Still waiting to break the deadlock, though. And we have got a good record here at Molineux, and specifically, so does Cameron Archer. Quite often finds the net on this ground, so I've gone with him up top today over Connor Cox, who's also had a good little run of form. But yeah, still waiting for our first real chance of the game, as this is a lovely build-up. And I'm waiting for Cam, and there he is, surely for 1-0. He's hit it straight at Mads Hermansen. Should have been 1, and that's why I just don't trust him as much in front of goal. A lovely patient build-up, but Cam couldn't finish it on this occasion. Camavinga, quick little free kick. Cam finds Solé, and space for Chaibi, and there's Camavinga, and he gets it around the corner to Cam, and this time he makes no mistake. I said he likes scoring on this ground. He had an earlier opportunity which he hit straight at Mads Hermansen, but this time he fires it past the shot stopper to give us the lead right on the stroke at half time. And now Stein to Camavinga, and Martson, and Camavinga in for a second, and Hermansen does well again. We know he's got a goal threat, Eduardo Camavinga. We've seen that this season. But that time he is denied as the corner's whipped into Yusuf, and he just couldn't quite get enough on it. Still, we lead by just 1 with just over 10 to play. Moreira down the left for Wolves. Swings the cross in. Muric doesn't come and is forced into a brilliant save on Gabriel Jesus. Solé celebrating with him, but still work to be done, boys. 2 minutes left to play. As the corner swung in, Muric comes and claims it really well. And that is a big save by the Kosovan. But that's going to do it. We only need the 1 goal to claim the victory. Cameron Archer wins it right at the end of the first half, as it's back-to-back 1-0 victories in the Premier League. And that is a really important win just to help us keep the pace with Arsenal and Fulham at the top of the table as we start to head into the busy December period. We'll close out the episode with one more fixture as we take on Slavia Prague away in the Czech Republic, looking for another 3 points in the Champions League. Before we jump into this game against Slavia Prague, it's actually at home at St Mary's. We'll see how bad the injury is for Chaibi, who will be out for around a month. So he's going to miss the busiest period of the season in December. Yeah, back around the end of the month. So yeah, that's a shame for Chaibi because he's been putting in some pretty good performances recently. But we've got Stein, we've got the young man Lewis Turner as well, who can step in, and others who can fill in the number 10 role. But still waiting for Marcus Leonardo to return from his injury as well. Those two will both be back around the same time. But jumping into our final game, it is Slavia Prague at home. Again, this has to be 3 points here if we are to finish in the top 8. And I'm hoping that a win will see us head into the top 8, as we're now officially halfway through the league phase. So Slavia Prague at home, looking to close out the episode with a win. Come on, you Saints. Oh, Cole gifted the ball. And now Turner forward to Connor Cox. Can he get away? He's bursting through, and that's a big save. And St Maximin can't quite force it home. Just using his strength there, Cox. And there's Cole. And Cole, and he's put it over. A big chance for his first senior goal for the Saints. And the adrenaline got the better of him. And it's a wild finish in the end. Given to St Maximin. And there's Cox. And there's Lewis Turner for his first goal for the club. The youngsters combine, and this time it's Lewis Turner, another of the baby-faced kids coming out of the academy. This English trio are looking like a real handful. Connor Cox was the star of our last Champions League night, and this time it's Lewis Turner who opens the scoring. This kid has got the potential to be special tag, and we know that he's got the potential to be a world superstar. First goal for the club. Oh, St Maximin wins it back. St Maximin. Still St Maximin. And Cole. And Cole to Turner, and it's somehow stayed out. A little bit scrappy in our build-up, but we created the chance as Cox is there and brings down the keeper, but he had to go for that. Well, into the last minute here of what's been a pretty quiet second half. Slavia Prague have had a lot of the ball and not done a lot with it, but looking for one final chance to try and snatch a point. They've got to get it forward quickly though. Provod, and there is the whistle. Not the greatest of games, but a win nonetheless, and another goal for one of our youth academy graduates in Europe. It was Connor Cox last time out in Austria that won us the game, and tonight on home soil, Lewis Turner scoring his first goal for the club as well. You love to see the academy grads getting some game time and getting some goals, and that is a brilliant way to close out the episode, as I think that will move us into the top 8 of the Champions League phase. But guys, we'll be back in the next episode with more big games as we head into the busy Christmas period. Looking to get the likes of Chaibi and Marcus Leonardo back from injury, which will be a big boost to Southampton as we look to make it to the latter stages of the Champions League and of course compete for the Premier League. But I'll catch you in the next episode very soon, guys. Take care and peace.